Next time that I hope a CW show is good, someone please come over to my apartment and put a gun to my head, flip it around, pistol whip me, and then blow me up. Hello, citizens of Stinktopia. So good having you stink up the place. Waft it in, ladies. Do the chemistry waft. Let's all watch a white woman put on chapstick. It's medical grade. It's actually just a prescription thing of Aquaphor. That's not even my prescription. Should I like say that? Is that okay? It's just Aquaphor. It is my prescription. It's my prescription. Okay. I don't really have any updates today. Besides the fact, this week, on Monday, I started volunteering on a farm. So I'm a farm girl. Yeah, that's right. So, yeehaw. That cowboy hat back, where is my hand? That cowboy hat right there? I brought it for a good reason. Because now I pick fruits and vegetables, and I get my knees all dirty, and I got a sunburn. My sunburn's really bad. Do not let a white woman go outside. Okay, that's it. Let's just hop, jump, skip, rope. Oh, I should have done jump rope. Oh. Okay, well, let's just get into the video. Today we are talking about the CW's Gotham Knights, which I so badly, really, to my core, wanted to be good. I had not even high expectations, just I had hope. I had soul. I was a naive, stupid woman. I wanted Gotham Knights to be good. I wasn't expecting it to be good. I wanted it to be at least decent. I did actually mention this show very briefly in a previous video. I think it was the streaming services hate gay people video. So if you want to hear briefly about like that aspect of it, go watch that video. Also, maybe just go watch that video because you love me so much and you want me to feel good about myself. I don't feel like I have to mention this, but there will be spoilers for Gotham Knights. So if you are a poor soul who wants to go watch this without knowing anything about anyone or any who or any what, go away. This video is not for you yet. You can watch it free on the CW app, methinks. That's where I started watching it, but then it got put on HBO Max. So, yeah, either one is good. The CW app, though, sucks, I will say, and it does have ads. They're really annoying. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Tristan, it's a CW show. It wasn't gonna be good. I know. But I wanted it to be good for a very, very selfish reason. And that reason being, this show has Stephanie Brown in it, and little fun fact about me, I may happen to like Stephanie Brown. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell that I like the character of Spoiler, but it's a possibility. It's just a possibility, okay? Maybe not. I don't know. Don't ask why I have all those drawings. Is that what I do at my desk? Did I spend hours upon hours over the last couple days doing that? Maybe. I don't know. That's not what this is about. It's not about my interests. This is about me judging a show. Not about you judging what I do in my free time. Okay? So, yes, did I watch this show purely because it uttered the words, Stephanie Brown is in this show? Yeah, I did. Okay, let's all just be a little honest here. I just think she needs to be in more media. DC has underutilized her. I need her. I need her bad. I also don't think they did spoiler justice in Young Justice. They barely used her at all. She had like 3 minutes of screen time. She had like 2 lines. It was horrible. I was so distraught. If I'm being totally, completely honest with you guys though, this version of Stephanie Brown was already off to a bad footing with me, for personal reasons. And that personal reason being Stephanie Brown is played by Anna Lore. And I don't really have anything against Anna Lore. I think she's a fine actress. I haven't really seen her in much stuff, but I think she did pretty good in this. But she is in the Peacock original movie They/Them, which is historically one of my least favorite movies I've ever seen. And I have actually been thinking about making a video on why I hate that movie so much, even though amazing title. Like they ate with that. Like queer camp slasher with the title They/Them. Oh, perfect. I could literally ovulate while thinking about that. That was really weird for me to say. I'm so sorry. But I think that movie was terrible. And Anna Lore played a main character in that. And I just can't look at her without thinking about that movie. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Anna, if you're watching this. My bad. Maybe you shouldn't have been in that movie. Back to Gotham Knights. If there's one thing I could say about this show is that it's definitely a show. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Alright, bye guys. If this show is based off like any comic run, I'm really not gonna know about it because I'm not a comic girl. I will watch comedically long analytical video essays about comics. So yeesh. But I don't read the comics, so I can't really speak on that fact of like, did the CW just take a bunch of creative liberties with the characters, or is it actually semi-based in something that I don't know? My bad. There is probably a video on that, or if you know anything about that, let me know. I love learning. But yeah, I just don't feel comfortable like speaking on the regard of the comics because I know I could do research on that, but also if I haven't read the comics, I don't feel qualified. I can look up all that I want to, but I think it's that opinion is probably better from someone who has seen the show and read the comics. So that's not gonna be this video. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the basics of this show. We have an ensemble cast, which I'm not always a fan of, but sometimes you need an ensemble cast. I just think there's always one character. I feel like I've talked about this before, actually. I feel like there's always one character who's the main character, but then they're like, fuck, we need an ensemble cast. Just throw people in and we'll kind of write characters for them. So I always feel like 2 of the characters get a lot of characterization, and then everyone else is just like, I'm here too. Which is kind of what this show also falls into, but that's just honestly how I feel about most ensemble casts in general. That's not the show thing, that's a all ensemble. I'm sure there is actually a show that, or a handful of shows that does ensemble casts well. Have I seen them? No. So this cast of characters consists of Turner Hayes, Bruce Wayne's adopted son whose parents were also murdered. And like Batman feels guilty for the death of his parents because he couldn't save them or something. I don't really remember. There's some like weird hallucination scene. I don't know. Duella, the Joker's daughter. There's not much else to say about her. She straps bombs to herself at one point. So, slay girl. Harper and Cullen Rowe, siblings. I thought they were twins. I don't think they are. I think Cullen is younger, but the first time I watched it, I was like, are they twins? Could they be? Sure. Could they not be? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, they're siblings. That's their big thing. And Cullen is a trans man, so like, yay representation. Go trans people. Carrie Kelly has a doctor mom, and she's Robin. Stephanie Brown, daughter of Quiz Bowl host Arthur Brown, and daughter of an addict mother. So, sorry girl. Harvey Dent, commissioner of Gotham, who is played by that one guy in Supernatural. No, not that guy. Not that guy either. Yeah, that's the one. Brody March. He's just Brody. He's just the guy. He dies at one point. I think he's like Jason Todd-esque. He dies and then comes back and then fights the Court of Owls. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Shh. That's it for the characters, apparently. Oh, I totally forgot about Cressida Clark, but she also dies. And she is British, I think. So, Batman dies. Dead on the floor, right? Or, should I say, dead on the street. Because he's pushed out of Wayne Tower. Harper, Cullen, and Duella are sent on this job to, like, get the gun of Joe Chill, who's... The gun is in Wayne Tower. But, yeah, they go... They grab it. Harper smells it. She goes, this was shot recently. And who did they shoot? Batman. Bruce Wayne. Yeah, so they were framed for it. But you'll never guess who was also framed. Oh, you guessed it? Oh, you guessed Turner? Fuck. Yeah. Gasp, it's Turner. Oh my god, who would have thought? Yeah, so he's framed for murder too because, like, all the money to pay Duella, Cullen, and Harper came from his bank account. So that's how we get to here with our little band of heroes. They stay in the belfry of Gotham Academy, and then basically we learn that this whole thing was the doing of the Court of Owls, which is one of my main complaints about the show. My complaint isn't with the fact that they tried to do a Court of Owls storyline. I think that it could have been really interesting, and I don't really think that's done enough. We see a lot of just like Joker but like we see a lot of other characters, and I think especially for a TV show, the Court of Owls could have been really good. It like is this whole upper class, high society, super secret Illuminati of Gotham, and I feel like that mystery could have stretched on for at least 2 seasons, and it could have built like a really, really good mystery if the writing in the show was a little bit better than it is. But I think the way that they executed doing the court was not the best. And I'll tell you why. The Court of Owls never, like, fully seems like a real danger, I guess. It doesn't feel as, like, Illuminati secret society. Like, if you fuck with them, they will literally tear you limb from limb type beat. Like, yes, they have the Talon who comes in and, like, assassinates people, whatever. But there's no real suspense of the court. And playing off more onto that, I was able to guess who like the heads of the court were so early, and but then not even that. It like tries to throw you for a loop that Lincoln March, Brody's dad, he gets stabbed by the Talon, and so that's supposed to be like, oh my god, red herring. Lincoln March isn't a part of the court. No, he is. You can't just do that. You know, it was so obviously written that he was head of the court, and then they're like, oh, stab the guy so it doesn't look like that. But it's like, I'm not stupid, you know? They unmask Lincoln, like, really early, so there's no suspense in that. You already know who is leading the court. But then also it's like revealed that Rebecca March is like super old and is the reason for the court kind of, and is the reason for Talon, and she is she used the eternal life, no death rock, which I don't know the name of. But yeah, so like that's a plot twist, but also at the same time, it's not really a twist. If you pay attention to the show, I don't think it's gonna be that like, oh my god. The conversations between Rebecca and Lincoln leave little mystery to be left in the show, and so it kind of just makes for a brain-numbing, boring watch. I also just have a problem with the characters in general and how they're written, and not with how they're acted per se, because I do think a lot of it is to do with the direction and writing of the show and the characters. But Turner is a broody, moody little fucking brat. His nickname by Duella is Bat Brat, and I get it. He's a brat. He's always complaining. He's always like, like, shut up. I get your parents died. Your adoptive dad died, and then you learn he's Batman. But also, like, if I had a kid and I was Batman, I don't think I'd tell my kid I was Batman. Like, do you want to endanger your adoptive child? Even though he did literally, like, endanger a child by, you know, having Robins and stuff. And we're not going to talk about how in comics he's sometimes, like, very abusive. But, let's not talk about that fact. And that, like, when he's written as abusive, normally the writers for those comics end up being abusers. Next question. Turner is, like, technically the main character, and I understand why. I get it. I fully get it. But I don't like his character. I don't like the way he's written. I don't like what he says. I don't like him. When he's on the screen, I literally want to close my eyes and fall asleep. I think he's a very one-dimensional character, and in the back of my head somewhere, he reminds me of if, like, Archie and Jughead had a love child. And given the fact this is produced by the CW, that's starting to make a lot of sense. I'm not sure if they really can now write lead male characters without making them like that. So, yeesh. Duella is annoying, and I frankly just don't like her. I think the best word to describe her is literally just annoying. Brody is just a guy. Literally, that's the only way I can describe him, just a guy. Harper is kind of a bitch sometimes, but being a little bitch is sometimes needed, so I don't entirely wrong her in that sense, but also I think she's written in a way that makes her like the cool, punky, I don't give a shit woman character, side character. And it just gets kind of lame, because you're like, no one really acts like this. You know, which I'm not expecting that, but also at the same time, like, all of the characters seem very, very one-dimensional in that fact. Frankly, I don't really care about Harvey in this. Sorry, Misha. I know a lot of people watched it because you were in it. I don't have that same love for that man. I've never seen Supernatural. I will never see Supernatural. And I think he did a fine job. I just don't really care. Carrie is fine. I think it's funny when her mom grounded her. That was kind of silly. I don't really feel one way or the other about Carrie. I think she really is just written as like a, okay. They do kind of like villainize her because she took out pages of Bruce's diary where he like admits to being the reason why Turner's parents are dead, and they're like, oh my god, Carrie is such a horrible person because she did this. But then also, like, you understand her, at least me as a rational human being, like, I understand why she does it, and she even like defends herself. They try to write it off being like, she's the worst person ever, and it's like, okay, don't be so dramatic. Also, I hate her stupid little Robin goggles. That's not to do with her character, I just hate her stupid little goggles. And the two characters I do like, Cullen and Stephanie, they really are like not, I don't want to say they're not important, but they're not really given time to be fully fledged. Colin kind of just ends up being the silly little guy and brother, the little brother. Like, that's my best way to describe him, little brother. That's kind of just where they leave it. Stephanie is this, like, nerdy, techie, rich, blonde girl. Now, I will say, I don't know if it's my, like, extreme autistic bias for the character of Stephanie, but when the show does give us crumbs of Steph lore, I eat it up. I am intrigued. I'm interested. Showing her, like, hard home life with her mom, then her dad just kind of being a cunt, and, like, showing the effects of that on her, and how, like, being a child of fame, there's, like, so much pressure of living the perfect life, which I think is really interesting to kind of write as a character, but they just didn't, the show wasn't given enough time, and they didn't really pay her character enough time of day to actually fully flesh that out. They also showed the effects of Arthur's stupid, ugly ponytail, because that really affected me. I had a visceral reaction every time I saw that god awful ponytail. Why? Why the ponytail? Also, my favorite inclusion that they made on Steph's character is they gave her comp pet. I realized that some people may not know what comp pet is, so bam! There's the definition. You're welcome. Back to the video. They kind of set Steph up with Brody at the beginning, and then she's like, no, Brody. And then they, like, kind of set up her and Turner, and she's like, no, Turner. And then she's really like, oh my god, I want to kiss Harper. And they smooch. The Phoebe Bridgers, I See You. Oh my god. I love that song, which I didn't mean to wear my Phoebe Bridgers shirt for this. I was just already wearing it today, but let's go. I think it's really cool and fun that they wrote her as a lesbian. I mean, it's never really explicitly said that she is a lesbian, but as one, I think I can safely speak on the fact that I think they wrote her as one, especially because she was like, I've never felt this spark with Brody nor Turner, and then the second she kisses Harper, she's like, oh my god, that's what it feels like. I'm like, okay, that's a lesbian. One of my favorite episodes is episode 11, entitled Daddy Issues, which dives into Steph and, like, her dad is doctor shopping and gets arrested, and he is, like, trying to gaslight her and being like, turn on your friends so I don't go to jail. And then her mom is like a cunt and hits her. It's crazy. But we get Steph lore, and I was here for it. Admittedly though, that is, like, the back burner story on that episode. The main plot line of that episode is that, like, Dwella, her mom, gets out of Arkham and she's with Turner, and, like, they turn Turner in or something. Well, her mom does. But, like, Dwella finds out that Harvey Dent is her real dad, not Joker. So her whole life's a lie. But then she, like, shoots Harvey, and he's saved because he has a Court of Owls coin in his pocket. Like, frankly, really don't care. I think for as much as they always made Dwella say she's the Joker's daughter, it is no surprise that they wrote that plot twist of she's not really the Joker's daughter. Like, if that was true, they wouldn't have made her say it that much, you know? I swear to God, like, if I was doing a drinking game and I was like, hey, every time Dwella says, I'm the Joker's daughter, anytime she's like, I'm the Joker, baby. That's my Joker impression. I'm the Joker, baby. I would be hammered. I would hopefully be in my own apartment, because I would not be able to make it back to my apartment if I did that game. Because they write it so much. They make Dwella say it an egregious amount of times. So it's, like, not surprising that they're like, oh my god, we should do a plot twist where she really isn't the Joker's daughter. I think Gotham Knights had the potential to be a decent show. Its story was pretty good, I think, if parts of it were not so rushed, and some of the timing of it felt a little weird. If the story was given like more time and was able to flesh things out a little bit more, I think the story could have been really good. I think the cast was actually pretty good. They all played their characters really well, given with, what the content they were given. The writing fell flat, but also we have to remember that this is a CW show. We have to think about the things that they have produced and released. The writing is not going to be amazing, but the CW also canceled the show before its final episode even aired. I think like 2 episodes before, maybe even 3 episodes before the finale, they canceled it. But then we're still like, okay, we're gonna release the rest of it, but it's canceled. So I also don't think that fared very well for the series. It's also not promoted at all. I personally never saw any promotion for this show, so it was always kind of doomed to fail in my mind once I heard about the show and then learned it was canceled. I do think if HBO Max picked this up, which they definitely aren't going to, but a girl can dream, they could potentially do some really good stuff with this show. I think it maybe would need a little soft reboot, because I definitely think they fly to the Court of Owls storyline really quick. I mean, it was a 13 episode season. That was just the whole arc of it, but the timing of it, the pacing of that season felt really weird. It was really slow at some times, but then other times it was plot point. Okay, what are we gonna do now? The pacing of the show was just really weird, and I think it just needed, I don't want to say better writers, but it needed better writers and a more concise storyline to be fully fledged out for it to be good, which I do think HBO would have the possibility of doing. The show was also left on a cliffhanger, which is annoying. But Wayne Tower blows up because something defeat the Court of Owls, something else, bomb, something, kill the Talon. I don't know. They make you think that Turner doesn't make it out because the rest of the Gotham Knights are oh my god, Wayne Tower blew up and he was still in it. No. Let's all be for real right now. Turner is the main character. They're not gonna kill him. Because this wasn't written as a limited series, If that was true, then maybe they would have killed him, but I think they were expecting to continue it, but then the CW canceled it, which is the reason it was left on a cliffhanger. Go figure. But yeah, you think that Turner doesn't make it out, but adios mio, he does. The League of Shadows saves him, because I think there's some connection with his parents or something with the League. I'm not 100% sure. I watched the finale once, and that's when it aired, so my bad, guys. In my brain, when I realized that they were introducing the League, because I also think they introduced Raj, maybe, I don't know, I don't frankly remember, but when it was League of Shadows will be next season, my autism brain said, who's my second favorite character who could potentially be introduced from a League of Shadows storyline? Guys, say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Really? No one said anything? Y'all are fake as hell. My god. Anyways, the answer was Cassandra Cain, who, I don't know if you guys can tell, but mayhaps could maybe be my second favorite character. I don't know. Would this show do her justice? No, we're not. But never hurts seeing the character you like in a show. People get that all the time. Me, though, I don't get that ever. So I guess if I want to have a cast center story, I'm just gonna have to rewatch the beginning half of season 4 of Young Justice over and over and over and over and over and over and over again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And maybe the doom that came to the doom that came to Batman, the doom that came to Gotham, even though she's like secondary character, side character, and it's like kind of Cass, but I watched that the other day and it was really good for the first time. Yeah, that really has nothing to do with this. I'm also upset that we didn't get to see Steph as spoiler at all. There was no even like little tease or anything. I know it's just seeing Steph as spoiler and anything other than Young Justice, where, like I said at the beginning, gave her like 2 lines of dialogue, is all I want in life. It's all I want in my life, in this next life. It's all I wanted. All I wanted was You by Paramore, but I didn't get it. So now I get to spend the rest of my life thinking, what could have been? And by that I mean I'll probably just go on AO3. And that's enough of my qualms with this show. If you have seen this show and have the same or maybe even different opinions, any opinion, I want to hear it. Let me know what it is, because I personally only know one person who has watched this show, and that one person is me. So I would love to hear some other opinions on this show that are not my own. I want to end this with very wise words. The CW may not be good at many things. They may have not produced many good things. They may not do good things. But at least they ended Riverdale.